Hey now, boys and girls, welcome into Pucknologists Live here on Teal Town, USA. It's show number 69 because it's hilarious.
Nice.
I'm your host, AJ Strong. Technical difficulties all up in here. Joining me is, of course, Rocket Backhander to my left.
I'm that dream that left you feeling a little tight in the pants when you woke up. Rocket Backhander. Welcome in, boys and girls.
And in his normal undisclosed location, one Mr. Hockey Jerk.
So because this is the first podcast since the Sharks clinched, I'll just open with playoffs.
Playoffs.
Oh, we all saw that coming, didn't we? Remember to subscribe to the cast on SoundCloud or whatever podcast. It's going to be one of those shows, folks. Whatever podcast platform of your choosing. And if you're on iTunes, throw us a little review on there if you would. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, the button is somewhere down there if you're watching live. And remember to check out Teal Town After Dark, going live after every single Sharks game for your only live and interactive post-game show on YouTube. And, of course, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram, both of them at Teal Town USA. Let's do that week in Sharks hockey. So we wrap up the week. And if you, we just do this to try to catch everybody up. And if you missed anything this week, you really didn't. Just letting you know right now, the Sharks have dropped 5 straight, their longest losing streak of the season. They are currently 43, 23, and 9, good for 95 points. A week ago, they were 1 point behind Calgary with no games in hand and 10 games left, including one versus Calgary. Now 6 points back of Calgary. A week ago, the Sharks were 11 ahead of Vegas, now only 5 ahead. This is going to be a really fun final couple of weeks of hockey, maybe, if the Sharks start winning. So
Maybe.
Oh, I can't even. Okay, so
You're gonna have to, Becky.
I like the way that you said Vegas. I like the way you said that. You like really emphasize the E. Vegas.
Vegas. Let's go full on Jerry Lewis. Vegas.
Riboflavin.
So the Sharks take a 7-3 beatdown versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Couture would score 30 seconds in, and then that was all she wrote. For the second time this season, the Sharks would just absolutely soil the sheets versus Vegas. Jones gets pulled yet again, marking his 5th of 12 times versus Vegas. Now, I will say, Vegas got a lot of lucky and fluky bounces in this one. I think at least 5 goals came. They were off the Sharks before they actually went behind Malcolm Subban. It was just an absolute nightmare. This is the team you want to avoid in the playoffs, but you're doing yourself no favor in that and trying to win the division when you keep losing. Anyway, no EK65, no Pavelski after getting injured versus Nashville. And, Jerk, does Donskoy even start if this game if Pavelski was healthy?
Oh, probably not. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I mean, thankfully, the games he did come back in and play, he was okay. But yeah, I truly think he only got back in the lineup because Pavelski was sick or injured or whatever the hell is wrong with him, because nobody's come out and said it. Yeah, this game started out really great, to your point. Couture 30 seconds in and everybody's loving life and it's all well and good. And then it's like I always say, and then what happened?
Unsustainable.
Yeah, the wheels did not come off the bus. They exploded off the bus.
Honestly, I don't even think they started the game with wheels.
I think that the bus got knocked off the chassis by the wrecking ball known as Vegas.
Vegas.
So going to be. I look forward to playing them in the playoffs because of this.
But
hey, wait. If we take, if they take the puck, does that mean that they get vegan strips? Oh, never mind. It's a bad joke. Sorry.
Wow.
They're not all home runs, people.
That's okay. Sometimes you got to get to first base. That's all that matters.
It's okay. She's a vegetarian.
Yep. There's your strikeout.
I told you this show was not going to be good, people.
But I look at it. I look at this game with 2 sets of glasses. On one hand, how many times do you score? Oftentimes you score 3 goals, you're probably going to win. But at the same time, when your starting goalie, who is allegedly elite, lets in how many ever goals he lets in and gets pulled.
4 on 5 shots.
Yeah. Where's Mike Commodore when you need him?
Oh, hashtag pack your shit.
I don't have anything else to say about this game. It's like I always say, my favorite part of this game was when it ended.
Yeah. This was one in my notes. It was the second game of a back-to-back for Vegas. So that's the thing that really kind of sticks in your craw too. It's like the Sharks know, hello, this game could not be more significant. And then to top things off, if you listen to Hetty and Randy and the entire broadcast crew, that this was the most homer I've ever heard them in a game, Rocket.
Oh yeah, you are not kidding. It was really difficult for me to listen to them because some of the things they were saying, like as a Sharks fan, I was like, yeah, I could understand how you could feel that way. But wait a minute, you're not a Sharks fan. You're supposed to be commentating this game. You're supposed to be leading me through the crap, not wading knee deep into it. Some of the hot takery and straight up homerism was extremely disappointing as a Sharks fan. I mean, I love this team. I want them to hoist a cup every damn year, twice on Sundays. But the amount of like just, mea culpa that was happening in the broadcaster's booth was borderline unacceptable. Like, why do you stop? Just stop. It's unnecessary. I'm in a mood.
Evidently.
Sad.
Yeah, sad. The one thing that we can point out as being like, if you can find the one, it's not even a silver lining, it's just a fun highlight, a kind of footnote to this game, is the score by Joe Thornton in this one with a no-look pass on net that got past Subban, filling in for Flower, who was that. That was an amazing goal. That one I'll give you. But that was basically the only thing worth writing home about in this one, guys.
Yeah.
Jill G in the chat, does Safeway still have the Sharks Edition ice cream? The answer is no. I mean, yes, they still have the ice cream, but it doesn't have the Sharks logo on it. Same ice cream, though.
Are you sure? They had it 2 weeks ago.
Did they?
Yeah, they did 2 weeks ago.
I am incorrect.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. They were giving away coupons for at the beginning of the month for March 1st. But I mean, who knows how
might
long
still have it. You never know.
You know.
And some of those coupons, believe it or not, are on eBay.
Get the hell out. Are you serious?
Or at least were on eBay.
Oh my God. Really? This is where we've come, folks. We're putting ice cream coupon. Okay.
Look,
all right.
I've got an empty gallon container if you want it.
Oh,
I had somebody send it to me when I was in Nashville. That's how much I wanted it.
Shut it down, everyone. We're closing down the season. If we're eBaying coupons. All right. Let's move on. The Sharks would face the Kings, picking up a 4-2 loss. I believe like their third 4-2 loss in third and 4 games. I mean, detecting a pattern. It's the worst team in the West. 1 win in their last 7, 2 in their last 16. The saving grace, I guess, for this is that Ron Burgundy was on the call to try to offer some sort of entertainment value for this.
No Stanley Cups. No Stanley Cups.
No.
No, my favorite Ron Burgundy quote out of that entire second period was no, I just love the part where he's like, shoot it. Oh, they don't have the puck. Okay. That was the best part. No Pavelski, no EK65, and Couture ended up being a last-minute scratch due to the flu. Pretty much for me, guys, the Pacific Division, the idea of winning the division just went out the window, especially as Calgary won their 5th and 6th games, Rocket.
Yeah. Look, and I say this at the beginning of every season. It's not just this season, but as much zeal and excitement as we go into the beginning of the season with, I always am cautious about the injury bug and how it's usually April, right at the very end of March, that Sharks get injured.
Did she just let everybody know that April generally follows March?
I know. I went backwards.
Oh, okay.
Big if true.
Cut you, will I?
Oh, hey now. She's gone Yoda, everybody.
So I'm switching it up.
All right.
So I can't remember what I was going to say anymore, but yeah, back to you, AJ.
Yes, Pavelski will be out tomorrow versus Detroit, Zach. For LA, Coach Willie D making some interesting decisions. No Fanuff in this one. No Kovalchuk in this one. Going to roll 7D. And reports were Covey not too happy about that, Jerk.
No, because he evidently came to LA with the idea of playing on a team who was a Stanley Cup contender 6 years ago. You know, I mean, I personally have never been to Russia, but I've heard that it takes a while for news to travel that way. So I don't know. I mean, I still like Ilya Kovalchuk. I hope LA trades him to a team that's good. But
like Arizona?
Yeah, hey, don't even start. Yeah, that not a lot of good has gone on for that team, like you said, and I think with them, they've started implementing so many young players that it's to the point where they're just trying to play for, I guess, brownie points, if you will. Like they want to show we're a team. They just want to show that they're a team who belongs in the league. And you have teams at this point, they like to play spoiler. I mean, especially with LA against San Jose. If LA can be like, yeah, we made it so our top rivals aren't winning the division, like some would view that as a win. So I don't know. I don't think the Sharks were bad in I don't think
they were bad. They just shouldn't feel bad. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I don't think they were bad,
but they should feel bad.
They weren't bad the whole way through. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Like they weren't bad the whole way through.
That needs to be on a hockey shirt in a big way.
Like there were stretches of this game that I really liked. I believe it was Hurdle who took the 2-1 lead or maybe tied the game.
Oh, dude, no. Hurdle from Burns, and what a drop pass from Burns.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Like, there were... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and with that, Burns tied the single-season franchise record points by defenseman at 76. But you were saying?
He broke the record that was set by anybody? Him. Breaking his own records.
Well, him pretty good.
He do that hockey. Like I said, there were stretches of this game that weren't too bad, but again, against a team as bad as LA, you got to close it out.
Yeah. And Nick in the chat mentioned, by the way, this is Pucknologists Live, and I got to say, I'm a bigger fan of live Jerk than recorded Jerk. I'm just saying. But anyway, before we get off on a tangent on that, yeah, I am unsure. But Nick asking, has anyone else noticed how the Sharks struggle during the month of March when they host games at SAP for the NCAA tournaments? Now, this is somewhat new, right? It used to be that they would shit the bed in February when the Tank would host the tennis tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Tennis,
yes. So I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I'm sure that there's other reasons.
It's and if you
collectively sick and broken right now.
That too. Well, if you look at the schedule too, like, and this has been going for who knows how long, but if you look at like October and February, like there's like 15% of the Sharks games are at home, and if you look at November and March, it's like 85% of their games are at home. Now you'd think more home cooking would mean you're less fatigued because of less travel, but at the same time, I feel like traveling as much as they do, in a weird way, it kind of gets their mind off of like that grind. Like, okay, new city, doing something new place, new routine, versus like if you're at home, what is it, 9 out of 12 games or 9 out of 13 games? It's like, okay, get up, go do whatever, do this in the same city every damn day. And it gets tiring, I imagine.
But yeah, so okay, you got to take out the trash, take the kids to whatever, and blah blah blah. Get wifey a Starbucks. I understand, but
they make Adderall for that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
All right. See, the whole show has fallen off the rails, kids, and
Literally.
It's that early. The other fun part about this, of course, is Jonathan Quick getting the start. Maybe not. Okay, so and then the other thing I wanted to note is, God damn, Kopitar sneaking in behind the D for that one shot. It was to me a microcosm shot of like the entire month. Well, I can't say that because the Sharks opened the month winning 6 straight, but it's just this idea of how the wheels have come off. Like that play of Kopitar, everybody on the team playing up high, not even noticing that Kopitar is down low. It's just a perfect microcosm example of just how jacked up this defense is. And how is it this jacked up when we're playing game 74 in that one? I mean, it's just
injury.
I think too. What's surprising to me is the defense has been well. The defense has been pretty much a schmozzle all year, but I feel like this, like with how well Vlasic has been playing the last 4 weeks, I'm surprised that it's still messed up, considering he's been so much better since coming back from his injury.
Yeah, but that's how crap the rest of it is. This is a caboose without a coal car or an engine.
And the coal car, my friend, was named Shimmick.
Everybody watching this show, if you're watching the show and you're enjoying it, go on Twitter and tweet #MissYouShimmick.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, seriously, do it.
No doubt. Let's move on from this one. So the following night, the Sharks would head just a little further south down to Anaheim and pick up a 4-3 loss in overtime.
We get a point.
40 seconds into OT. God, I totally thought that the Sharks are going to pull that out in overtime. I mean, you saw them come back, and yet no. And of course, had the Sharks won, all the story would have been is see what happens when you scratch Haley. But the Sharks go from playing the worst team to the second to worst in the West. Their second game of a back-to-back in SoCal. Pavelski's still out. Dell gets the start in this one. Who, I don't know about you, Rocket. Dell seemed to be a little susceptible to the stick side high. Just a
Yeah,
scotch.
it seemed a little strange. Almost maybe like he's injured.
No.
Maybe.
No.
You don't know. I don't know. So I can speculate what I want, and you can speculate what you want.
Oh, watch it. There's some
Just
people
saying.
that get into trouble when they start dealing with speculation. I'm just
Speculator.
oh
man.
Pack your specs.
Yeah, and tomorrow Rocket's account will be private.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? Oh my God.
It went off
my God.
rails number 1 and 2, and it is now planted firmly on the third rail.
Dude, when the rail crashed, that should have been it should have been a harbinger of things to come. Let's go to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hey, so the good power play finally scored. I mean, I guess you can say that's the good thing, after going like 1 for 17. Now I believe they're like 2 for their last 23. So that's good. Rock.
I think it's great. Nobody's got food poisoning.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. Jerk.
My great.
No, we're just going with good, bad, and the ugly because it was that kind of a week.
Good, because I was going to say there's no great in this thing. Good. The Sharks have clinched a playoff spot and can afford to lose every remaining game.
Right. Who needs home ice?
Yeah. #overrated.
Especially when it's San Jose's.
Yes. The bad for me, of course, Pavelski being injured versus Nashville. It's weird that they came out at first and it was just kind of like, he may miss some significant time, and then by the next day that was updated to nope, not as bad as we initially thought. Looks like it should be okay. And now we are here, let me see, after Nashville. So no Vegas, no LA, no Anaheim, and he's already being ruled out versus Detroit. So who knows where we're at with that. All we know is #lower body injury. Rocket, how about your bad?
I didn't know that the groin flu was catching. Okay, so I guess the good, the bad. What's the bad? Yeah, man, I think the bad is probably the injury bug popping up its little head and sinking its incisors deep into the skin of this team, so much so that it almost looks like we should call up a couple of the kids from the AHL way sooner than they're ready for, just so we can, find something new, throw it to the wall, see if it sticks. But I mean, like Jerk said, they're already in a playoff spot, so as long as nobody comes by and Jeff Galuli's everybody in the ankle, I think that they'll be all right.
Wow, that's a callback. Jerk, how about your bad?
The bad was everything.
You
Except, I'm sorry, everything except for Goose Nyquist. If we were doing a great for this show, Goose Nyquist would be my great.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's bad that I can't praise him. Sure, we'll go with that.
All right.
Yeah. And for the ugly, mine definitely, of course, being Jones's record versus Vegas. I don't understand how this team has his number. I whatever. Rocket, go ahead.
My ugly is wow. I don't want to be too much of a negative Nancy because I've done such a good job of it so far. I'd say maybe the ugly in this is that they might not be able to find their identity as a team in time to get through the first round.
Solid point. Jerk, you're ugly. I mean, not personally, but
Rude.
I'm offended. Oh, good Lord, my ugly. Where to start? Martin Jones's goaltending the whole season, really. I mean,
you ain't lying.
What do he's. I've heard people say he's elite, and let's slow down. No, he's not. He is above average on a good day, and frankly, there's no excuse at all. Like they tried to blame the new pads to start the year, and we have a condensed schedule and we're whatever. No, zip it.
Condensed schedule? What?
Or not condensed. I'm sorry. Like everything's packed together, short amount of days off, whatever. Anyways, I'm getting off track here.
All right.
Martin Jones is an NHL goalie who makes $5.75 million a season for 6 years. You are contractually required to make saves. And he can't even do that. And now I get it. It's hockey. Well, the team's really behind him and he's our guy. And that's terrific. But you're not going to sell that to your fans. You're not going to sell that to your sponsors. You're not going to sell that to anybody. This team can score 100 goals a night. But if they have Martin Jones letting in 100 goals a night, then they're not going to go very far. And it's ridiculous that it hasn't been addressed until, March 24th or 23rd or whatever day Peter DeBoer, talked about needing a save. And it's like, I was never one of those people who said we need to go out and trade for Jimmy Howard. But I mean, good God, like just because you're not in danger of losing your job doesn't mean you should sit on your ass and do nothing. Like, come on, earn your money, help your team win.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that for me that has just been kind of maddening about this whole deal is, if I remember correctly, like there was talk about Jones early on in the season. There was talk about Jones in the middle of the season. And then and we heard through, 60 games that it's like, well, the most important stat is wins. And, he's tied for most wins in the league or he's tied for second of most wins in the league, blah, 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 blah. And it's okay. Well, that's great. Over 82 games. What if you have to win 4 of 7 and you've just lost 5 in a row? It only takes 4 losses to bounce out in the playoffs, people. And finally you're seeing, although I will give Kurz credit. Kurz was on this a little earlier than some people, but Kurz is calling it out. Shalena's calling it out. There's a lot of people that were kind of, I don't want to say Pollyanna, but it took them a while to come around, while there were other people that were lamenting this back by Thanksgiving. So God love the broadcast crew, but even Jamie Baker, to a certain extent, kept on going back to the whole, well, it's wins. Okay, well, let's see how many wins the Sharks are able to put up in the first round.
Do you think maybe the Sharks media core would do well to maybe retool their party line a little bit so that when they're faced with a situation like this, the information that they pump back out to the fans and on the public platform is a little bit less of a Pollyanna view and something a little bit more, I don't know, intelligent. Like,
the last guy who did that ended up in Edmonton. So.
all right, well, there's my answer then.
No,
Yeah.
I think Rocket is onto something now because and I don't want to get too crazy, but
Get crazy, baby.
Oh, get crazy. Okay, so the whole point of journalism is reporting on the facts. And hold on. Regardless of bias or anything like that. But you have a hard time convincing me that there is not some kind of narrative or something that is being pushed, because too many people have said when the goaltending's been brought up, oh well, reason A through Z as to why it's not a problem, and everybody, despite working for different outlets, are all saying the same thing.
That's exactly it. Like, they need to come up with a new line
to a certain extent, but I also want to mention that Baker, Hahn, Ruzanowski, Hetty, those aren't journalists. They're just broadcasters.
Right, but I mean, it goes beyond them.
It does, but there's also been people like, oh my God, who's the guy on NHL Network during the day with the specs? He's a good guy, well respected.
If he has gray hair, then I know who you're talking about.
No, I can't remember the guy's name right now.
Oh, EJ Redick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as soon as you were saying it, it popped into my head. But EJ, he's actually been talking about it for a while. So, I don't know. I just got so tired of people trying to defend it by pointing at wins, and it's kind of, well, yeah, you can point at wins, but let's point at the statistic that's backing that up, is the fact that like the Sharks are scoring the second most amount of goals in the league. You score that much, yeah, that's going to happen. But as Rocket likes to say, unsustainable. You're not going to continue rolling game by game, scoring 4, 5, and 6 goals. They're going to have times where you go dormant. It takes a lot just to get 1, maybe 2. Those are the games that you need your goalie to step up and make a save instead of letting in 7 goals.
Well, and we've seen in the past teams try this method, the glass cannon method, if you will, and it's failed. I mean, look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, look at the Dallas Stars. They tried it and it blew up in their face. And now they have, Toronto has Frederik Andersen, Dallas has Ben Bishop. I'm not saying those guys are better or worse than Martin Jones, but they've been able to make a save at the right time for their teams. While, I mean, I can't recall a time where Martin Jones made a save and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so glad he made that save. Now, I'm possibly forgetting something. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I've never had such little confidence in a goaltender ever. Like even with Niemi. No, even with Antti Niemi, I had more confidence than I have in Martin Jones right now.
Ugh.
You know what? I gotta say, like, with this team, not too many of the major pieces have changed since like 13, 14. So we'll say 14, 15. So that's like 3 years that we've had basically the same guys. And I said basically. And Martin Jones being a part of that, it kind of makes me wonder if
Martin Jones wasn't part of that.
3 years ago he was.
Well, yeah, you said 13, 14.
I said 14, 15. So
14, he came in 15, 16.
Okay. So that's still 4 years. So in 4 years, there hasn't really been that much of a difference in the group of guys. Is there any more derailing you'd like me to do before I lose my train of thought?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So in that time, we've seen the defensive core get better and worse and better, but mostly better because you've got a lockdown pair with Vlasic and Braun. Burnsy, as long as you get him the right dance partner, he's pretty solid. And Dylan on the third line, well, he seems to be able to deal with whoever he can deal with. This season, they weren't able to keep that system in their defense. And Martin Jones looks worse now. And I'm not saying that it's primarily a defensive problem, but they're not helping. And it's also, I think, another reason why they're having so many problems with the turnovers is their defensive flow that they've had over the past couple of seasons has been really disrupted for whatever reasons. And because of that, they've just been playing catch as catch can, trying to get all the lines and all the needs and all the assignments. And Martin Jones hasn't looked as spectacular as he has. I think this is a cumulative effort with trickle-down economics, and Martin Jones is the person who gets shat upon the most because of it.
I'd agree with that.
Okay.
I would still like to see Vlasic and Braun put back together.
Amen.
See, I disagree with you only because I think
hold on, I'm looking for the mute button here.
Only because I think since Vlasic has come back, I think Tim Heed has played his best hockey.
True that.
All right, you got a point.
True that. But I would like to see Heed with Dylan.
Yeah,
a few times,
why not?
Just to check
and
it out.
That is a good point because, as I've said many times before, Brendan Dillon has been the Sharks' best defenseman this year.
Most consistent by far.
Notice how I emphasize defense.
Yeah.
In defenseman.
Well, with that, let's move into our 3 stars of the week.
Or what we call.
I was waiting for it.
Oh, good for you.
See what happens when you don't bring a sounder. Rocket, your star for the week, if you can find one.
My star for the week is gonna be Simic.
Miss you, Shimmick.
Yeah.
Miss you, hashtag miss you, Shimmick.
Because he didn't do anything wrong in any of this.
And I see in the chat talking about how Johan Hedberg needs to be called out and held accountable for Jones's prep. Because I did see a few people like crapping on Nabby about Jones and telling them all, dude, Nabby's working with Bebo and Cornash. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Coach. Develop.
Yeah. But anywho, so Jerk, your star for the week.
My star for the week is, as I alluded to earlier, Gus Nyquist, because in the games where the Sharks looked bad and they were playing bad teams, LA, Anaheim, he was the only guy who appeared to be doing anything for a lot of stretches of time. In Anaheim, he was flying. He was all over the offensive zone for a good chunk of the night, and I don't think he was rewarded outside of maybe one assist this week, but he was definitely doing his damnedest to make things happen, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for somebody that you gave up 2 draft picks for at the deadline, and even though the stats aren't there, I still think he's been maybe not the best, but the most consistent player since the trade deadline.
Yeah. But my star for the week is just going to go to the pairing of Heed and Vlasic. And we pretty much already said why. I was this close, actually, to like withholding my star for the week. But I'll give it to the pair of Heed and Vlasic. So if you were named one of the 3 stars of the week.
Good
for you. So let's get into Shark Bites. Timo Meyer got fined $2,000 for embellishment versus Yossi in Nashville. Really? I mean, really?
Really?
If you go back and look at the replay, it's clear that and Meyer even explained it too, that he leapt forward because had he not made that move, his knee would have it would have been a bad fall.
Brendan Shanahan don't give a crap about nobody's knees.
What a tool. I mean, and Rob is saying appeal to fine. It's
pocket change.
It is, but the thing that it's not the 2K that pisses me off. It's that Meyer's now on the list now. You know what I mean? Because something happened earlier in the season, so now he's on the list. Either way, go ahead.
I was just going to say #repeat offender.
Yeah, I mean, give me a break. I don't understand how you look at that and not see that he's clearly just. I mean, I've done that in softball where you get tied up with somebody, and instead it's just easier to kind of like take the fall versus the unknown. It's like, if I just do this, I'm not going to get hurt, and it's the end of the world isn't going to happen. That's fine. And that's clearly okay, I could be here all day talking about this.
I hate the idea that somebody else gets to make the judgment call on how much something impacted you. I can tell you, I've lost my balance just by standing still and pivoting 180 degrees. So you're telling me that falling down the way Meyer did while ice skating at a semi-high level and being tripped, you're telling me that did that on purpose? I don't think you could do that on purpose if you tried. Like
I think if he did do that on purpose, if he tried, he'd be a figure skater and not a hockey player.
his stick would have been in the seats. Like my point in all this is sometimes you catch yourself and sometimes you just eat it, to your point, AJ. And I don't like the idea that the referee, say you eat it truly and 100%, you eat it really bad. I hate the idea the referee can be like, oh, well, you fell kind of hard there, champ. That's embellishment. I hate that.
Yes.
Because how many times does a guy get bonked in the head with an elbow and doesn't fall down and he's like, oh, he's fine. It's the same thing.
Yep. Moving onward, we have the Sharks' remaining game schedule, and I'm assuming this will continue on for the duration of the Sharks being in San Jose. The remaining games for this season will be broadcast in Espanol via the Sharks app and on your secondary audio programming channels on your television. So for that, I say
mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Lo siento, hay dos chicas en la cocina. What a pity. What a pity. What a pity. There are two girls in the kitchen. Okay. Another one here, just a funny NHL.com article. I got a hell of a kick out of the headline. When you consider the week or the last 5 games, I just like, who came up with this goddamn headline? And it was Sharks use special teams and success at home to clinch a playoff berth.
No, we didn't.
Have you looked at special teams over the, like, I understand it's big picture. The big picture, yes, the Sharks have played very well at home this season. Great record at home. Okay. That I will give you. I'm they're 23-8-5 at home. Okay, to put that in context, Calgary's 25-7-5 at home. I mean, like this close of a difference. And obviously the Sharks probably could have tied that if they had beaten LA and Anaheim, or well, no, that's those were away games. But I mean, what were the 2 that they lost that they should have? What am
Vegas
I thinking? Vegas and Nashville. So anyway, but I just saw that headline and I was like, wow, what a terrible time for that to be your headline. But anyway, now we're gonna move on to something I've been holding on for a few days now that I've just been waiting to unleash. For those of you who know me, you know that I hate Fanatics. I hate everything about them. I hate the fact that their quality is the most inconsistent thing on the planet. They can't get colors right. They can't get sizes right. The people that buy shirts after 2 washes, the graphics are peeling off. Meanwhile, I have a shirt that's from the 1994 playoffs made by Starter that threw out easily hundreds of washes, is not peeling to this day.
The revealed the teal?
Yes.
The one that guy was wearing in the Kings game? Looked brand new.
Yeah. And so anyway, I noticed when I was, because I'm barely on Facebook anymore, but I was posting something on Facebook on the Sharks page. And of course, they got the little advertisements on there. And there's an advertisement for Fanatics. And so, of course, I felt the need to poke the bear and just kind of say, you know, I put a review on their little advertisement that said that, you know, these guys basically, they suck. Their quality is inconsistent, everything I just said. And these guys actually slide into my DMs. And of course and I swear to God, dude, I might have been talking to a bot. I'm not sure, but they slide in my DMs and they're like, oh, we're so sorry to hear about your inconvenience, but can you send us an order number? And I'm like, dude, I don't have an order number. I bought stuff at the Shark store, which Fanatics runs. And the stuff that is available there has a big F on it. I'm saying the quality of your merch is horrible. And it's like, oh, we're so sorry to hear about something or other. But you know, you'll have to deal with the Shark store on that. We have nothing to do with them. And so, of course, I write back and I'm like, bitch, there are Fanatic signs all over the place. You guys are in charge of this stuff.
No, like the Shark store is a Fanatics property.
Exactly.
They're on Fanatics payroll.
Yeah. And it's, and we do apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you.
All right. So the reason why they wanted to know if you had an order number, because off that order number, they'd be able to tell what sweatshop it was produced at.
Yeah, right.
So then they would have to know if they need to go to Indonesia or Bangladesh to find someone to yell at. That's why.
I don't know. It just, the whole thing was so annoying. And then on top of that, for those of you who are unaware, Brody and Curtis Brown, you know them for pregame and the intermissions, but they also do, they roll straight through commercial free on Twitter during the intermissions. And I believe it was the LA game, but one of the games this week, Curtis Brown was wearing a sweet hoodie.
Oh,
So sweet
sexy.
that the next day
I
had to have it.
He had to have
It's sitting behind me on my chair right now.
on his chair.
But this hoodie was so sweet and snazzy.
How snazzy was it?
Oh my God, it was so snazzy that I had to find out where the hell to get this. So I would assume that, something that sweet and beautiful has to be at the Shark store. I got to get me one of those and do a little investigating. Oh no, you can only get this at the pro shop at Solar for America Ice at the practice facility. And it's just kind of like, what? You have something this hot? And people were commenting, talking about like, where'd Curtis get that from? And half the comments were, I want that hoodie, Bob. Where can I get one? Just the fact that Fanatics doesn't have that at the Shark store just goes to show you how inept Fanatics is. Now, again, this isn't the Sharks' fault. This is Fanatics' fault. They're the ones that run it. Now, would it be great if the Sharks said, you know what, we're tired of hearing all the negative feedback. We're going to go back to running our own shop and Fanatics can go kick rocks. That would be great. Is that going to happen? Probably no. And if I remember correctly, they take over for the Giants this upcoming season. That they keep expanding. They're going to go from 4 NHL teams this season. They're probably going to do like half the league next season. And it's, who knows where we're going to have to get, like, how much worse does Fanatics have to do in order for them to finally be dropped? How pissed off do the fans have to get because of how horrible the quality of this merch is?
Huh.
Now, this beautiful hoodie that I purchased, guess what? Not freaking Fanatics, okay? Not made by Fanatics. And if it had been, if I had seen that damn logo on there, I would have walked right out of the store. Not even thought about buying it.
Also, I need to address something in the chat. Anthony Sanchez is saying easier access for fans to buy gear at Solar Ice compared to SAP Center. Not true. Not true.
What was the question?
Right there. It's not true. You can get to the Shark store at SAP Center, and it is open every day of the week. You can access it from the outside, from the sidewalk. It's not something that is only available when there are Sharks games happening. Okay. So that whole idea that that's somehow easier access is false.
And another comment I'm saying is so we just have to wait until Reebok and the NHL get back together. That's not going to happen. Adidas essentially bought out Reebok. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's the Sharks. Well, I'm saying, the Sharks, but again, there are several teams that are caught up in this. The teams as a whole just need to go, you know what? This merchandise is garbage. It's crap. And it's making us look bad. It's you look at every piece of hockey equipment or whatever, and I'm wearing a shirt right now, a teal shirt. For those of you watching, there's a small Reebok logo at the top. And then on the front of it is a huge frigging Sharks logo. And it's just like every other item that you purchase is that you'll see a tiny little F, but it's the huge team logo. So when the quality of this stuff is horrible, who are fans going to blame? Are they going to look at that tiny little F, or are they going to look at this huge logo that is already scraping off their shirt after 2 wears and washes? But anyway, that's okay. I'll get off my little rant box now, but I just thought, it just the amount of how much Fanatics sucks and how they keep finding new ways to suck is amazing to me. And I hope at some point the fans speak up loudly and with enough impact that.
Mm.
And the whole thing is, kids, you vote with your wallet, vote with your pocketbook. If you go into a shop and all of a sudden they see that, wow, we're selling Adidas jerseys and we're selling Adidas ball caps and we're selling this, but you know what? The Fanatics stuff just isn't moving. You know what's going to happen is they're going to stop carrying that
Yeah,
stuff.
except the one big thing you're missing is the price point.
What about the price
The
point?
price point is that Fanatics fills that price point below Adidas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's why they're
unfortunately-
never going to get rid of them. That's why you're never going to be able to out them with your pocketbook, because you're always going to go for the cheaper alternative. And if your cheaper alternative that's presented to you is 9 times out of 10 Fanatics, guess what? You're going to do that. And yes, you should get your Sharks and bring hockey back. Like, they do good stuff.
See, I'm gonna take the opposite on that, because back when it was a Reebok shop, I would buy a replica jersey sometimes because it was like half the price of an authentic, and it's like, I don't want to spend that much, but I do want a jersey, so I'm going to get a replica one for about half the price.
Was it Fanatics?
No, it was Reebok.
Okay.
It was Reebok doing both.
Sure.
And so now Fanatics, I can get a cheaper jersey, but specifically because it's Fanatics, I won't do it. I'm gonna spend the extra money to get that. So the price point thing, while it may work for some people, it ain't working for me, because I look at that quality and I go, nope, you get what you pay for. And hopefully other fans, that happens for, not everybody, but there's going to be a couple of fans that they're going to go, man, when I bought a Reebok shirt or an Adidas shirt, man, it fit every shirt that I bought. It fit comfortably, and I could wash it. It would last me through a season. This one won't last you through a month.
No.
So
I think Fanatic has too much of a stranglehold on the retail channels to be able to get squeezed out, other than termination of contract because of contract length.
Well, then at the very least, I would love to see these teams band together and say, Fanatics, get your act together, like up your quality, like that. We can't have this.
Well, maybe they can discuss that at the next owners meeting.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else here? Just being that what the whole thing that came out of this, though, was the fact that the hoodie was sold at Solar for America Ice, and they don't have an online store. Hell, the Shark shop, the Shark store, they'll only do a mail order if you order a jersey. So here was my thing. I was kind of like, maybe I need to like start taking orders myself and make myself my own mail order business. Just go down there, take orders, and then just buy stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then, put like a 15% markup on it for, the time that I have to, that I'm shelling out the money. I'm taking all the, look, if you're going to do something, don't do it for free. I got to make a little money in all this. So anyway, I think I would do really well. And yes, I would do shipping to international people. Anyway, time for the wraparound. Elliot Friedman is hearing Todd McClellan's name as a potential bench boss in LA. First Daryl Sutter, now team. Oh my God. But Kings insider John Rosen says no effing way. Jerk, you're the chances you think McClellan ends up in any team with any team in SoCal?
0.
Because Eakins is going to take over in Anaheim, right?
Yeah, that's the unofficial official consensus, if you will, is that Dallas Eakins is going to take over next year once the seasons are completed, because...
Well, and it seems like Eakins, he would have taken over now had the minor league affiliate not been doing so great.
Yeah, and I think a big reason for that is because a lot of the people who are going to be on the Ducks next year are people who Eakins coached in San Diego, and we saw the same thing when Detroit gave Jeff Blashill the head coach job. It's the same thing we saw when Tampa Bay, I believe, when they hired John Cooper as well. So it's not something that's never happened before. So I think it's something to look out for. And then for the LA Kings, I still think Marco Sturm is their guy, only because he coached Germany at, I believe, the World Juniors this past year and did really well. Marco Sturm is their assistant coach now, for those who don't know. And he's been groomed supposedly for a head coaching role. And I think generally when you're in a position like the LA Kings are, where you're just awful and there doesn't appear to be an end in sight, generally it's good, at least in my opinion, to have somebody who's never been a head coach at the NHL level. That way you can kind of have everybody progress together. You know, you can go through the same downs and the same ups, whether you're a new player, new coach, whatever, versus like if you have a veteran coach, you know, their reputation's soiled because they're on a bad losing team. But then say you're a new player, you kind of have that mindset is, oh, this coach is such a dick because this, that, and the other, versus new players, new coach. I think it makes for a better transition. And so if, don't be surprised if on opening night next year you have Dallas Eakins in Anaheim and Marco Sturm in Los Angeles.
But that's never happened, right? So far, like, I mean, obviously we've seen Daryl Sutter, former Sharks coach, goes to another team, and then, you know, in your division, yeah, and then of course T-Mac, but that would be the first time that a former player is coaching the opponent, right? I can't think of it because, like, Ryan Clough, he did a little bit of, you know, kind of coaching, but it wasn't, you know, he wasn't like the guy. But Sturm being the guy, that would be the first time, right?
Yes, it would be.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you can even look at somewhere like the Chicago Blackhawks. You know, they have a lot of young players on their team this year, and so the person they hired as their coach when they fired Q was Jeremy Colleton, who played in the NHL for a hot second. And this is just his coaching with Chicago. It's his first time coaching an NHL team, so new coach, got a lot of young players. It's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think the funny thing of all of this, Jeremy Colleton, the pronunciation is tough, Colleton is 34 years old. Young guy for a coach, very young guy. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 players on the team right now who are the same age or older than him.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they call their coach like Sonny or Champ or something like that.
Oh,
Sport.
No, something popped in my head for a second and then it completely left me, and I'm so bummed because it was very funny.
Do you think Vegas could get like a serious bout of the stomach flu and drop into that wild card spot?
No.
Not a chance?
No. Although it seems to be going around.
Not unless a sniper takes out Marc-Andre Fleury, because that's the only way that it's going to happen.
Well, it could happen.
Oh, I know what it was. It's you were talking about some of the, like a guy who was coaching. He like had a cup of coffee in the second, or in the league for a hot second, which just goes to show that the more success you had as a player in the NHL, the less success you'll have as a coach. See Gretzky, Wayne, Roy, or Patrick, Patrick. I mean,
Randy Carlyle won a Norris Trophy. And how bad was he as a coach?
Well, he has a cup, right, with Anaheim.
Well, that's nice, but he's also been fired from the same team twice.
Yeah. That is pretty funny. But Carlisle, okay, well, let's move on. T-Mac to Detroit if they don't hire Q.
No. Detroit is sticking with Jeff Blashill.
Yeah, I can see that for the time being. God, I'm dying to know where the hell Q is going to end up. Woodcroft taking over for McClellan. You would think that T-Mac has to be shown the door because he was already on the hot. Or wait a minute, T-Mac was shown the door. Who the hell am I thinking? Oh, because Hitchcock's going to get canceled.
Yeah.
So do you think Woodcroft? Because wasn't there already speculation like Hitchcock had already said like, maybe this wasn't maybe I shouldn't have come back. It seems like he's already out the door.
Well, I mean, the fact that he came out of retirement for the second time to coach Edmonton tells me that. I don't think Jay Woodcroft will be the coach of Edmonton, only because he was Edmonton's assistant, and then coming into this year, they actually, if you consider it a demotion, had him coach Bakersfield.
Yeah, but that wasn't considered a demotion per se. When we had Remenda on, he was like, Woodcroft was given the choice where it's kind of like, do you want to stay up here or do you want to, run your own team? You want to be your own boss or, be a bench boss. And it's kind of like, it's, if you want to advance your career, it's time for you to take the reins of a team.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think it's, now do I think that 1 year is enough? And it's like, yeah, okay, come back up to the bigs. You're done. You're ready to go. Yeah, probably not. They may have Woodcroft grooming down there for a couple seasons. Who knows? But then again, Woodcroft could always call Roy Sommer and say, so, how long do you stay down here?
I was going to say, call up Roy Sommer and be like, how's your trial run going? I honestly, I would not be surprised if for next year they just shift Glenn Gulletson over to the head coach position, because he was a head coach with Calgary, and then Todd McClellan brought him in as an assistant for this year. I would not be surprised to see him slide over, especially because I have to assume Ken Hitchcock is going to retire for the third time in his career. If he doesn't, then forget everything I just said.
He lost a bet if he doesn't retire. And he just needs to keep making money. Otherwise, somebody's going to come after his kneecaps.
Man,
yeah.
You're just angry tonight. All right. I like it.
The word is spicy.
Spicy. Did anybody catch the Islanders Flyers game yesterday? Because this was supposed to be like the rematch between Voracek and Boychuk.
No.
After their previous game. I didn't hear anything about it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch.
The only thing that I heard from that game was Anders Lee took a stick in the mouth from his own teammate and started bleeding, but then a Flyers player got busted for high sticking. That's the only thing I heard from that game. I know that because I'm friends with a Philadelphia Flyers fan who was very heated about it.
NHL referee's gonna referee.
True that. All right, let's we're just a couple weeks out here, so let's get into some playoff matchups. And a couple of these are, well, let's be honest, basically only about two of these are set in stone, and that's Boston versus Toronto and San Jose versus Vegas. Let's be honest. I just can't see those going any other way. Who are you taking in Boston versus Toronto, Rocket?
I'm taking the nap is what I'm taking. I don't care.
Wow.
I don't
care.
It's not here yet. It's not going to happen yet. I'm not going to lend any thought to it. I'm already too stressed out by the Sharks team.
Yeah, I can see that. Jerk, how are you going with that? Because the Bruins won the season series 3-1. I would imagine that they probably have one more. Oh no. They might not have another game against each other. But either way, I gotta. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm going Boston with that.
Yeah, same. As much as I hate the Boston Bruins,
as much as I want to see Toronto succeed as well.
Well, no, I don't care about Toronto. Toronto could get relegated tomorrow, and I would not shed a tear.
I want to see San Jose versus Toronto in the
No, that's
final.
because you just want Patrick Marleau to get his cookies, and then he can come back. And God, AJ, no. Now it's been well stated on this podcast. I think that Boston Bruins deserve nothing good to happen to them.
Were you rooting for the Capitals last Cup final?
Yes, I was, but that's because. But
were you rooting against Vegas, or were you rooting for the Capitals?
Both. Because Alex Ovechkin is not a traitor.
Okay. Oh, please. See, I'm doing the same in this one. I'm rooting for Toronto. I'm rooting for Boston to go up.
No, I just think Boston. Okay, maybe their offense is not as good as Toronto, but their defense is a lot better and their goaltending is a lot better. And I think it's going to be the same thing with Toronto, where the same thing that with Toronto the last 2 years, where they'll win 2 games and it's impressive and it's all well and good, but then those other 4 games they lose are just going to get smoked like a fine cigar. And it's going to be another summer of, ooh, can we pay 4 players $12 million? We're going to make it happen. And then it's not going to happen.
All right. Fine. Be that way. Piss out.
All I'm saying, to quote a person on Twitter, people's understanding of cap space does not rise as quickly as cap space does.
All right.
Keep that in mind.
Wait a minute. When the hell did Carolina sneak into the playoffs? I really haven't been paying attention to the West. So the Capitals would face Carolina at this point. I don't know who I would take in that.
Are you kidding me? How can you not go for the underdog story in this?
Oh, believe me.
Carolina Hurricanes knocking out the reigning Stanley Cup champions.
I would love that.
You have to take Carolina.
but there's been 2 games played.
It doesn't matter. Facts, no facts. History, no
that's
history.
right.
You must.
Regular season doesn't
You
matter.
must take Carolina in this matchup. You must.
All right.
No cuts, no butts, no coconuts.
Yes.
No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade.
Okay, now here's another one.
Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey pee all over you.
Jeez Louise. Can we not for a hot second?
No
my Lord.
lemonade.
I'm not going. Sorry, go ahead.
Can we please get back on track? Islanders versus the Penguins. This is another one where it's rooting for the Islanders and rooting for the Penguins to get smoked.
Aren't the Islanders first in the Metro?
If they aren't, they only are like a point away from it.
Oh my God, they aren't anymore.
No, yeah, he's right. They're a point away with the Capitals at the top.
Oh,
Hey, now.
So I'm looking at that where it's very much I'm rooting for Grice to like kill it, and plus I'm rooting for the whole we don't need you. I really took that to heart.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Imagine if Edmonton, Jesus, if the Islanders and Toronto, God willing, meet in like a conference final. Oh my God, get the riot shields ready. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
How great would that be?
Yeah.
And it's just so funny that there was they're 1 point out of leading their division. And there was so many people at the beginning of the season saying, well, with the loss of Tavares, it's going to be a couple years before they get back into, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Hold my beer, as you say.
Yeah. No, this was the rivalry that the league did not expect this season.
No. And minus Tavares, they have 1 point more than Toronto. I mean, give me a break. And then Tampa versus Montreal. I mean, what? Tampa wins that in 3?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll get that far.
It's just a big barbecue in the parking lot, a handshake line, and then a party.
No, I can picture Montreal not making it past customs. They're just going, what are you kidding me? Go back. Just go back. Stop. So in the Central, Winnipeg versus Dallas. Remember, we're talking about Dallas. And the reason why I say that, how much how much do the Sharks, how much money do they have tied up in goal right now? I want to say about maybe 7 between Dell and Jones right now.
The Sharks, how much do they have tied up in goal?
Yeah, how much cash? About 7 mil?
They have 7.65 million.
Okay, we're talking about Dallas, the team that decided to spend $12.5 million on Niemi and Kari Lettinen. Okay, as long as that brain trust is still running things, I have no. And remember, who was it that got shellacked earlier, about halfway through the season by the president or the CEO? It was Jamie Benn and Sagan.
Tyler Sagan, yeah.
Ben. And so, I mean, there's some internal shit. I don't think that has gone away. I think the Jets probably sweep that series, to be honest with you. Although Dallas won the first game back in October 5-1, and then Winnipeg came back and beat them 5-1, and then the last game Dallas won. But
that's what I'm saying. Dallas.
I think it's a 5-game series.
Okay, I'll give you 5 games.
As much as we like to make fun of Dallas, and frankly, as easy as it is to make fun of Dallas,
that's all I'm saying.
We're 2 defensemen away from being Dallas.
Oh, wow. Damn, I don't know about that.
I do.
Truth hurts. That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
Flip the hair, Rocket. No, Dallas has had some stretches of playing really good hockey this year, and I think if it wasn't for St. Louis literally coming back from the dead, I think Dallas would be firmly in a 3rd playoff spot, the 3rd, whatever the hell they call it in this division format. And yeah, I don't think Dallas is gonna, go to the conference final and wow everybody and win their hearts, but I could see Dallas stretch it out to 6 games. I mean, Ben Bishop can easily steal a game, no problem. He's also had the benefit of his health this year, which is always good. And ever since getting ripped to shreds in the media, Tyler Sagan has been a man possessed on the score sheet. So,
well,
it could be the difference.
We can't get too ahead of ourselves as well, too, because with 6 games left, instead of Dallas versus Colorado, that matchup could very easily be or what did I say? Dallas versus Winnipeg. I'm sorry. That matchup could very easily be Winnipeg versus Arizona.
Yes.
And Calgary versus Minnesota.
When
I mean,
well, that's the thing. It's literally jump ball for the West wild card.
Oh my God, how great would Winnipeg versus Coyotes be? Just because of the franchise history, the new Winnipeg versus the old Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And you know what's great too, if this is your thing, both. So Winnipeg, the old Winnipeg and the new Winnipeg, obviously do the Winnipeg whiteout. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But when old Winnipeg moved to Arizona, the whiteout moved with them.
Exactly. Dude, the amount of Shane Doan jerseys involved in this whole thing would be astounding.
Man, Haynes is going to be sold out of white t-shirts. That's all I'm saying.
I'm telling you.
I'm on board for that. That sounds like good sports television.
And it's like, well, especially if you're like a Winnipeg fan over where, okay, I followed the team because you were a big fan of Winnipeg back in the day before they moved in what was that, 96-ish?
Yeah, 96.
So when they moved in 96 and you still like watched them move and you followed them for whatever it was, 18 years before the Winnipeg finally got the Jets back. And so now you're kind of following both because you're a little invested. At this point, it's like, well, I really want both of these. So it just comes down to I'm rooting for Wi-Fi signal. That's all I'm rooting for.
Although
if the cooler Kachina.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Arizona was smart, they instead of a whiteout, they would do a Kachina out.
Oh, I like that.
I'm down. I'm so down. Oh.
Hey, speaking of playoff sweaters, AJ, not to derail you, but did you see Calgary is wearing their third jerseys for all home playoff games?
Yeah, not a fan.
Is that the black one?
No, it's the one that's red, white, and yellow. I mean, the primary red.
Beautiful.
The trim is yellow and white.
Okay.
Beautiful jersey.
If you say so, jerk.
I'm not a fan. Okay. I like the black. So
what are we on now? Preds Blues?
Yeah, I guess Nashville versus St. Louis. Although again, that one is just, was that about set in stone? No,
I would I mean, if Winnipeg slips and Nashville or St. Louis, I would say it's 86%. Certain.
Yeah, so Nashville Blues.
I look forward to watching a 7-game series of Nashville just getting pounded into the boards by St. Louis.
That's going to be all Bennington, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
He prefers Winnington.
Winnington, yeah.
That guy.
And I like Anthony saying, why don't the Sharks do a teal out at SAP Center? I'm going to give you the company line. Because teal doesn't show up well on TV. That's what I've been told multiple times.
Really? Because I've heard it's really difficult to find that color.
Or teal. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yes. Well, especially if you're working with Fanatics, then it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, because the Jaguars have no idea where to get teal.
Well, could you imagine what it's like? The teal out brought to you by Fanatics, and they do the live shot, and all you see is like 30 different shades of teal on the stands. Everybody's wearing a different colored shirt.
And that's when you're like Honduras, Indonesia, Vietnam, Honduras, Indonesia, Vietnam.
And then the one that got it right. Oh, China.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, that should be good. Calgary, who knows who the hell they're gonna face? I mean, honestly, right now it's Colorado.
They're just like, whoever, bring it.
I don't know that Colorado is gonna make it in. I don't know. I'm not feeling Colorado. And you know what it is that it's just because I'm with Jerk and I'm just going Arizona. Going, come on, Yotes.
Oh yeah. I'm fully with you.
I when I said earlier that the Western wildcard spots are jump ball, it's literally jump ball. Like right now it's Dallas, Colorado, and then you've got Minnesota, Arizona, Chicago on the outside looking in. By Thursday, it could be the complete opposite. Like it's I mean, I look at Dallas in the standings and I'm kind of like, F off Dallas. You don't need to be there yet. But then like to bring back what I said earlier, I think Dallas has played some good hockey this year. My problem with Colorado is they're just too up and down. Like they'll be hot and then they're ice cold. And I'm with you, AJ. Arizona. I've been AJ has his power play drum. I have my Arizona drum. It's been collecting dust since 2015, and I need it to be a worthwhile purchase because I've had it for too long.
I feel you. All right, so let's finish it up. Oh my god, we've already gone way too long.
Way
but
too long.
A lot of that was me and my 20 minutes on Fanatics. The Sharks at this point have themselves 7 games left on the schedule, and they will have played 4 by the next time we speak with you all. Detroit, Chicago, Vegas, and Calgary. That is a 4-game homestand. Then they pop out for 2 in Western Canada to face Vancouver and Edmonton, and then Fan Appreciation Night hosting that vaunted Colorado team we've just been talking about. So Detroit, second to worst team in the East. However, they did beat Vegas in overtime over this weekend, but they've also only won 4 of 11 in the month of March. So what happens if the Sharks don't beat Detroit? And again, this is, remember, the last time the Sharks came home from a 2-game road trip, didn't do that well. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, even though we see the Sharks tend to struggle with teams that suck, they do well. They do fine against Detroit. That's probably the one game that I'm not really concerned about on the itinerary for this week. Especially with, I mean, you got to think Goose is going to be feeling it. He's probably going to want to make some things happen in that game. So,
hey, now
we'll see.
You got Chicago after that, who is currently on a 3-game skid. Obviously, they'll play at least one more before that game versus San Jose. Who knows there? Then, Jesus Christ, you schedule makers, I want to back-to-back versus Vegas versus Calgary. What an insane weekend next weekend is going to be. Do you start Dell this time versus Vegas? I mean, you've seen what Jones has not done against that team. And by the time you face Calgary, will the division already be sewn up? Like, do you even just like go, okay, well, who cares at this point? It's like if you get to that game, if you win the next 2 games, or I should say if the Sharks win the next 2 games, and if Vegas maybe drops a game in between there, you can breathe a little bit more. And maybe that game versus Vegas doesn't mean that much, but it could really be that by the time the Calgary game, it just means nothing.
Yeah. To me, the division already doesn't matter because if the Sharks, let's say the Sharks go 7-0, the Flames could still lose 3 games in regulation and win the division.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, it doesn't matter. If it were me, and this is just me, we all know I'm crazy. Team Chaos, hashtag. The playoff spot is clinched and you might as well see what happens. I'd start Dell all 4 of those games and just say, hey, Jones, get your head screwed on straight.
Ooh.
We'll see you game 1.
I like that.
Yeah,
I don't
a bold strategy, but I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I don't actually. You know what I would do? I would start Dell 3 straight and then start Jones versus Calgary. That one I would do. The other thing I would do is I'd take a look at D Simone because I got to be honest, man. I am so done with Joakim Ryan at this point. Talk about a guy who needs to get his head screwed on straight.
Desi is he's quite a personality.
Desi, Middleton, I don't care who it is, put somebody instead of Ryan into that spot. Now, granted, they're probably not going to get a whole lot of time because I'm going to assume that EK65 will likely play the final 3 games, especially if by that point they don't mean anything. If position is solidified, then it's just kind of like get into the flow, but don't overextend yourself, I
don't think they would play him until the very last game, just because like if he accidentally goes out there and re-injures himself.
You mean like last time he played?
Yeah, exactly.
Then he's out.
And who knew that Shimmick was the glue that held this team together?
He did.
You.
Well, yeah, that's true.
you were going on and on. I might buy a Shimmick sweater. Shimmick, this kid, and I mean I was partially biased because with the Barracuda last year he did not do very well. But I'm like, okay, AJ, and then here he is. Like Rocket said last week, he was the linchpin, and is the linchpin, and so hats off to you, sir.
Half a 4-scene point.
Hey, you know what? I'll talk with my I'll talk with the staff and we'll We'll see.
Throw a dart at the dartboard, like player safety, and then comment in the chat saying Joachim Ryan is the new Matt Irwin. No, because Matt Irwin scored from time to time.
Also, he still has the job with a playoff contention team.
That's true.
I miss Matt Irwin.
Matty Ice.
It's one of the sticks on the wall behind me is in fact a game used Matt Irwin.
I have a Matt Irwin mystery puck. He was my favorite Shark because anytime he got into a fight and his helmet came off, his hair was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
You know what? I have a Matt Irwin mystery puck as well. Now that I think about it,
Matt Irwin is a mystery for everybody.
What a mystery!
Here. Yes. So we'll see. A couple of let's hit a couple in the chat because we've already gone long. I mean, we can't make this any worse. So.
Are you going to bet?
What we're seeing, when does EK65 come back?
Never.
My bet is I think they give him the final 3. He's already doing pre-practice essentially. Pavelski was out there earlier today working with Hedberg, which goes a long way to show you where the hell Johan Hedberg, the goaltending coach, is doing tip drills with Pavelski. Maybe work with Jones and Dell a little bit.
Maybe Johan likes to shoot the puck. Maybe he just is having fun, and maybe Joe's is having fun tipping him. Maybe that's part of getting better, is just trying to have fun with the game and not push it too hard.
This is the hill I'm going to die on.
Whatever.
All right. So anyway, yeah, EK65 is still out. Pavelski, for all intents and purposes, will be out versus Detroit. We'll see if Couture is feeling any better. Hopefully he is. Hopefully no one else has come down with any other godforsaken illness. I think Burns even played through a little bit of, he caught like a hair of the flu bug.
Sounded good the last couple of games.
You would think the flu would just look at that beard and go, oh no, I'm out. I'm going to go.
But you got to remember, he's got like 4 kids and they're all snot age.
That's true. But
so
again,
that's like an
you
immunity.
would think that like the beard would be like a filter. Either that or it's just that beard has contracted every single thing known to man, that he's just impervious and immune to all.
It's an ecosystem within itself.
Yes.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he didn't get the flu from his beard.
The cure for cancer is in Brent Burns' beard.
Confirmed.
Yeah, hashtag confirmed. Hashtag confirmed. All right. We went way over time. We'll try to work on this. That's the thing about going live. Yeah, because that's the thing about going live is that we tend to go longer than we normally do, or probably should. But we're a little more unfiltered, and I don't know. We'll work on it. We'll see what happens. You know what? We'll reassess in the off season. How's that sound?
I mean, if the people want it, the people want it, right?
That is true.
It's true.
That is true. So again, for the 25 of you watching, we so appreciate it, and hopefully we can build this up. Again, we did this in the last part of the season, and our scheduling could be a little off, but we seem to have dialed this in. I think it's like the 3rd week in a row we've gone live on Sunday evening. I'm impressed. I'm just saying. I'm impressed. So the people want more jerk. That's what we're here.
That's true.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris.
So jerk, final thoughts on where the people can find you.
Well, final thoughts. Last week I said the Sharks were doing good and they just needed to keep doing what they were doing. Yeah, they didn't listen to me. Yeah. So I'm gonna hope that they don't listen to me again, and I'm going to say keep playing poorly and keep losing games. Hopefully that putting that out there flips the universe back around the way it's supposed to be. We'll see. Anyways, if you're like Chris JWS and you want more jerk, you can find more on Twitter at hockey_jerk. You guys know what my shtick is. You know it. You love it. You want more of it.
We're not going to start that horse shit again.
That's the place to be.
You suck.
Paid subscriptions coming soon. And if you are feeling impulsive and you want to send me an email, you can do that, hockeyjerk10@gmail.com.
All right. In final hit from the chat. Let me asking if I want the info on Marty McSorley's absence from the Sharks TV broadcast from the playoffs a few seasons ago. Yeah, I mean, hit me up on Twitter with it, and we'll have to confirm. We're not going to speculate because We all saw what happened in the show earlier tonight when the word speculate was offered up and things started crashing in the studio, like not even kidding.
My entire ass crashed.
Yeah. You know, it took me about 3 seconds to like put that together, and I was like, oh man. It took me a couple seconds. Like at first I was like, wow, what a okay. Probably time to go to Rocket's final thoughts on where they can find her. You've been drinking.
One. I had one, and it is 6%.
Someone who weighs 105 pounds only needs one.
A lot more than that now.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, French fries. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rocket Backhander, and I like Sharks hockey, even though I sound like an Eeyore gloomy pessimist for most of the time. I do actually like this team. I don't know what else you want me to say. Find me on Twitter, man. rbackhander76, capital R, capital B, little backhander 76. Check out my photographs of really, really nice flooring. If you want to buy some floor, talk to me. Slide into my DMs. I'll sell you some carpet. Or also like Sharks related stuff, just crazy things happening here in San Jose, and all of my cool teal outfits. That's one word, Rocket Backhander on Instagram. And I don't really have a final thought, man. Like, this team is the reason I drink. That's 100%. The only reason I drink is this damn team.
They're not the reason I started, but they're the reason I continue.
They're the reason I continue. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, my final thought. I'm just so. Oh, I'm so upset from this whole, just from the last 5 games. You know, if it had been a case of the Sharks had somehow faced like Tampa and Winnipeg and Boston and Calgary, and you know, like if it had been just a murderer's row of competition, it would have been like, man, you lost 5 straight, but goddamn, it was like every top team. And the whole thing is, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But Jesus Christ, I guess if you want to be the worst, you got to lose to the worst, and the Sharks did that this week. I mean,
I think they didn't want to be the worst. They want to understand the worst. They know how to beat it next time.
I mean, dear God, man, LA and
Painful.
I can't. We might have to, you know, we're going to put this show to bed right now, and then we might just turn around and go right back live to do a little deeper dive into this. So keep a look on that. If we go, it'll be on the Twitter. So anyway, I am, you know, maybe we should do it on the scope. We haven't done a scope in a while. AJ_strong on the social, all the channels, and do us a favor, subscribe if you please to the YouTube channel. Share it with a friend. We're trying to, you know, get our numbers up a little bit more. SoundCloud, we've hit a couple solid numbers recently. We want to keep those up, and then obviously we just broke 700 on Instagram not too long ago, so that's pretty cool. And playoffs coming, that just means there's going to be even more. We're going to plan on having an interview. I can't say who yet, because honestly, I don't know if they want me to, but there will be no, it won't be John Tortora. God love him. I'd love to talk to him, but we're going to be talking to somebody else from behind the scenes with the Sharks right before playoffs start, just to give you an idea of what to expect. So look out for that coming up. Again, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Tealtown USA. And I think I want to give something away. It's contest time.
Ooh,
sound good? And for the 5 people that, like, I think we're at 25 or 26 a few minutes ago. Now it's down to 20, and it looks like maybe they've gone on to look at other things on YouTube. You know, well, guess what? You're not winning nothing. So I'm thinking, if who would be interested in a Kane Penelope bobblehead? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be fun? So I'm thinking a Kane Penelope bobblehead, and especially if you, dude, I'm still here. For those of you who, you know what Kane went through recently, Okay, so we're going to give away 2 prizes, evidently. The first prize will be a Kane bobblehead. The second prize will be candlelight dinner with Jerk. Oh, no, wow, I really thought that would have gotten him off mute.
Yeah, okay, there he goes.
You know what? I said something really witty, but I was muted, so I'm not going to say it again.
You're making an announcement that you're going to make an announcement.
Good job. Sharks are 1, 1, and 5 since that bobblehead.
Oh, is that the Kane one?
Yeah, apparently.
No, really? That can't possibly be right.
Al, if you're not kidding.
Dude, that can't possibly be right. Well, okay, now I want to look that up. When did that go? Oh, that was the St. Louis game, right?
And
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was Teal Town USA Day.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What did he say it was? That's 7.
Yeah, that's 7.
Holy crap. Okay.
So
well,
we're
then,
not
get these. No, get this bobblehead out of my life. Maybe the reason why we're losing is because it's here when it should be in your hands. It needs to be won in a contest.
Oh, God.
So here is the contest, ladies and gentlemen. Slide into you shoot me an email, aj@tealtownusa.com. Shoot me an email and tell me what the significance is of the song that we start every episode of the Pucknologists with. Tell me what that has to do with the Sharks, and you will win a Kane Penelope bobblehead. Sound good?
I don't even think I know the answer to that question.
Well, there you go.
I do.
So if you know what the give it away now. No, that's not the song. So if you know what it is, then slide in, hit me up. Don't put it in the chat because you'll give it away. Obviously, give it away now. So with that, thanks again for watching. This was show 69 because it's hilarious.
Nice.
We move on to show 70 next Sunday following Sharks Calgary. Holy hell. If I remember correctly, I think Jerk may be on assignment that night, so we may have somebody else pop in next Sunday.
We'll see.
True, big if true, huge if true.
I don't know. There may or may not have internet that day, so we'll see.
Oh, are you going to be in Winnipeg? So subscribe to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever podcast catcher you use. Of course, as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TealTownUSA. Thanks for listening, and we will see you all next time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Hey!
Oh, this better be a gift, damn it.